Hey everyone, welcome back to Data and Donuts. I'm here with my friend and colleague Nguyen from Golden West College. Kay's here today to talk to me a little bit about how she's transitioned from research to instruction and how she's utilizing her skills in that field to facilitate a lot of data-informed decision-making and supporting faculty and enrollment management and the like. But before we get to our interview today, I would like Kay to introduce herself.
Hey everybody, like Aaron said, my name is Nguyen. I'm the Dean of Arts and Letters at Golden West College. So prior to this position, I was actually in the field of IR for, gosh, I hate to date myself, over 12 years before I actually transitioned to instruction. So I was the Dean of Institutional Effectiveness, so kind of similar to Aaron. And then recently, last year, became the Dean of Arts and Letters and non-credit.
Excellent, excellent. So speak about that with your transition over. As a former researcher and probably still current researcher, how have you utilized those skills as a dean of instruction?
Well, it's actually really has been a really smooth transfer because of my background in data. I think one of the biggest complaints that a lot of my colleagues in the instruction side have is, they didn't think to go into administration to deal with spreadsheets and data and things like that. But that's actually what we do a lot. So, the bulk of my job is actually focusing on enrollment. And, there's just been so much uncertainty over the last year with the pandemic that it actually makes even more sense. And it's so crucial that we use data to kind of think about how do we best schedule classes to meet the needs of students. And at the same time, be nimble enough to kind of meet all of the new uncertainties that are coming out. Right now we're anticipating that the governor would actually open up the state economy on June 15th. But so what would happen if we don't? And of course, there are the social elements that involve and also safety measures. So because of that, we have actually been using data to kind of determine what is the appropriate ratio in terms of online classes versus on-site classes, and balance it out with what makes sense, what's the best for student success. So I've been using a lot of data to engage both our faculty members as well as our scheduling teams to make sure that we have the best schedule possible to meet students' needs.
Excellent, excellent. That sounds like a variety of data, internal, external, and the like. So that's an excellent blend. And so as you collaborate, work with faculty more, what data have they been requesting? Now they know that you have those data skills that you can bring.
So it's actually really funny. I think when I first started on board, a lot of my faculty members were very excited because they've been working with me before, with SLO's assessment and program reviews. So the data that they request are similar. It's always, the course success rates, right? And that's broken out by demographics, program completion, and, the number of majors that they have, student retention, degree certificates, and all of that, and transfer. So those are kind of like the basic data that they always ask. I think what's more important is how do we utilize that data? How do we make sense for them? Like what does it mean when Hispanic, Latinx students have a certain success rates compared to other student population. And I think we couple it with kind of some more supplemental data, right? So we have our student engagement data, but also students' utilization of resources. I think one of the things that we've been really trying to focus on is are there connections between students' utilizations of on-campus resources and their performance in school. I think, at least from all of the literature out there, we do know that the more engaged students are, to the campus life, the more successful, the more likelihood that they'll be successful in class. So it's about looking at data and then making meaning in terms of what does that mean to a faculty member. What it could also mean is, if you're looking at that data, you're more likely to maybe make some changes in your syllabus to promote some of these resources on site. It's about, at what juncture in the semester do faculty should be engaging more with students. What does that mean when your students stop responding to classroom discussions 3 weeks into the semester? So like those are things that I think is really meaningful, and it's just about encouraging what type of best practices is available. And and using that information with faculty so that they can generate their own discussions, so they can learn from one another. So that's a little bit snippets of, what we do within our division.
That's really awesome to hear. And that's really exciting how they're engaging different types of data, not just from the classroom, but then outside of the classroom performance and student demographics. And as we start training and engaging and building data literacy across our colleges, what recommendations would you have for training for faculty? Say if you have new faculty or more tenured faculty, what different trainings would you recommend for faculty, say to your colleagues in instruction?
Yeah, I think because we live in the numbers world, I think a lot of times people do get intimidated when they look at charts, when they look at tables and percentages, and we think, well, it's just, these are basic tables. And this is because that's the world that we live in. We don't realize that how intimidating it can be. I think even sitting down with faculty members and showing them some basic data, looking at college-wide trends, so they can see what meaning, what does it mean? And then maybe kind of just look at, okay, this is what the department data looks like, and this is how it compares to the college, right? So actually walking through with them and looking at longitudinal data and say, this is what it means when it goes up this much, like what you could assume when you look at that data, so really walk them through and having actual application, and then turning it back to them and ask them, what does the data mean to them? I think it's really important for them to get some affirmation of, okay, when I look at this chart, I'm seeing this trend. This is, am I reading it correctly? So I think part of that is really giving them the basic data 101, but also encourage them to actually say, this is what it actually means, and you're right when you see the data this way. And also, and have them kind of bring up what are some of the assumptions that they have so that you can maybe push back on. I think one of the things that we realize is, correlation is not the same as causation, right? That's probably one of the liners that we have in statistics, but it's really important to show that and really kind of explain to them, well, what we're really seeing here is this, but what avenues does it lead in terms of the changes that you could make in your classroom? So having more of that one-on-one or maybe small group training with faculty and have them feel really comfortable looking at data is really important.
That is, you touched on a really, oh wait, sorry, that cut out. I don't know why my mic's doing that, sorry about that. So we'll wait for like 2 seconds to I'll respond. That's a really great point, and a lot of good ideas and perspective that you can bring to the faculty, capturing their voice, hearing their feedback, and then really engaging with them, building that learning, and as opposed to just handing data over. I really like that perspective, that approach. Those strategies sound like they work really well, something that I think we all could really adopt and adapt to our institution. And we wouldn't be calling this program Data and Donuts if I didn't ask you these other bonus questions. So the first question is, what's your favorite donut?
You know what? It's really evolved. I used to really like the apple fritters over time, but now I'm so boring. I think I just like a really nice, perfect glazed donut. It comes out piping hot and it's beautifully glazed. That's very satisfying with a cup of coffee.
There you go, the classic. You can never go away from the classic,
Right.
or shy away from that. So no, that's excellent. And so the second question, and so as you work with faculty, classified professionals, other administrators, and we all do, is a lot of people use different terminology, and the terminology of the day is, do you say the word data, data, data? And there's no right way to say it. But I've been asking all of our friends and colleagues, what do you say? Because maybe I'm saying it wrong, or maybe I changed it. But when someone asks me, like, hey, Aaron, can you see this data? I'm like, yeah, show me that data. I try to meet them where they are with that. So what terminology do you usually use?
I'm the same with you. I use data, but I'm not going to pause a conversation on student success, say, whoa, you just said it wrong. So I think it's important that people actually embrace data and take a look at it and actually use it. And if they want to call it data, I really don't care.
Oh, and me too. I'm in 100% agreement, but cool. That's always just a fun question to ask.
So, what is the running total so far?
So 100% so far across the last dozen plus interviews has been data. And so I've had lots of fun examples, by the way, and we'll touch on those as you look through those. And it's just really funny of the reasons why a lot of people cite Star Trek. Some person says, my name is Dana, like that's how I got my pronunciation with that. Just really fun and just exciting how people just engage with some of our bonus questions. But this has been really fun and really insightful. And like I said, for our people watching, hopefully you can adopt, adapt, move, and share this forward with your institution, organization. So thank you again so much, everybody, for watching. Please subscribe to the channel below. And thank you again, Kay, for joining me on our conversation today.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks for having me.
Have a good one.